It's 8:30 a.m. My name's Hayden Donnell. We're about to fly out to the stricken cargo ship Rena. There are several containers already on the shore of Mount Maunganui. There's a container in the sea, maybe about a K off the coast of Mount Maunganui. We're just flying over it now. It looks like it's blue. It's bobbing in the water. We're not even 1K from the coast. We can already see signs of destruction. The container that we just went over was really bent, so it must have been under pretty intense pressure when it was on the Rena. It's fallen off, I guess, at some point in the last couple of days. Oil slick to the right of our chopper, just ahead of us now, and there's what looks like tugboats around it. We heard salvage crews were going over, or hoping to go over this morning. It looks like it's on a massive list. It looks like a tugboat. You can see it at the back end of the ship, the stern. It looks like it's holding the ship together. There's other tugboats surrounding the ship. Containers are hanging precariously, very precariously. We've all seen the shots in the last few days. It's quite amazing to behold in person, just so precariously leaning, looking like they're about to fall into the sea. It sort of looks like any one of those stacks at the stern of the ship could fall at any moment. And you just got to wonder, how did this happen? This is the side that really gives you an idea of the enormity of the situation. You can just see the sea washing over the side of the boat. It's hard to see how it is staying afloat in these conditions. With the bow of the boat ground against the reef and the stern moving up and down in what has been pretty extreme seas for the last few days. There's a huge amount of oil underneath the chopper now, just off the bow of the boat. You can see it discoloring the sea, and there's the crack. You can see a massive crack where the boat has grounded. You can just see the enormity of the situation. How is this boat going to be dealt with? Who's going to be held accountable? How is this cleanup going to be run? Huge questions for authorities to be considering in future weeks and months. Does it look like that crack is widened? Yeah, you can see all the way through that crack. On what looks like, I think, the port side of the vessel, the crack is, I don't know, what do you think, a metre wide? Whereas yesterday has widened again. Waves are breaking over, but you can make out the crack on the starboard side of the vessel as well. It's disturbing, that crack up. You can see on the port side it's widened, and it must be still widening, because I can't imagine that the vessel is able to sustain those kinds of pressures with that kind of damaged structure. Well, we've seen the photos in the last few days, but it doesn't really compare to seeing the Rena in person. You can see just the amount of damage that has been done to the ship, there's a huge, at least a meter wide crack now, and it's visible, especially on the port side of the vessel, but when the waves aren't breaking, you can see it on the starboard side of the vessel. It's hard to see how the Rena is going to just stay afloat or stay in one piece for too much longer with a crack of that size. I guess the good news today is that the conditions have eased. The swells are looking like they're about 2 meters as opposed to the 4 or 5 meters that have been hitting the vessel for the last 2 or 3 days. And weather forecasters are saying that that's just going to ease. The oil slick is the other thing that really strikes you when you see the vessel. It is pouring out of what looks like the bow. It's at the bow of the vessel right now, and you can see it all the way heading back to land. It's in the sea, and you can see containers as well in the sea. They're washing up on shore now, and debris. Really sad. You can see just how much oil is affecting this beautiful island of Motiti, surrounding the coast, oil everywhere, and you can see it washing ashore on the beaches. The sea is discolored everywhere around the island. There's a container just under a cliff off the island. It looks like 2 containers together actually. There are birds swimming through the oil slick around Motiti Island. We can see what looks like cleanup crews tented out on Motiti Island. Yeah, it's definitely oil. A lot of timber washed up from containers on the coast. We've just been to Motiti Island, which is just about 7 kilometers away from the stricken Rena cargo ship. There's oil all around the beaches. You can see it just coloring the water. We saw containers against a cliff, a couple of them together. We saw planks against the coast, and we also saw some cleanup crews camped out. They've already set up tents. They're in orange vests, and they look like they're getting ready to start their work for today. The other disturbing thing that we saw on this island was seabirds sort of wheeling and circling around some rocks, and just below them you can see oil. So you just wonder what the impact of this disaster is going to be on the bird life around this area.
My attention, just wave at me.
Will do. Okay, there you can see a line of black, which has become pretty synonymous with this oil spill. The high tide line is not just marked like it normally would be by light watermarks. You can see a line of distinct black where the oil has come to. It's gross. You don't see that on New Zealand beaches, and there you go. That's a huge amount of oil washing up in that particular place. Not sure why. No, there's just oil washing ashore. You can see it in huge slicks just washing up with the waves. And the smell, very strong. You can just smell oil in the air. It's like a petrol station when you go to pump gas, but it's a beach. And that's just dark black lines all across the front of the beach. This is the worst that I've seen. Wow, just devastating. You can see oil just on shore. The waves are black. Just incredible to see. This is a beautiful beach, normal times. These are not normal times. It's gone. The oil has risen all the way up to the sand dunes. But you know it's bad, but this really brings it home, seeing it washing ashore and by the ton on Papamoa Beach. And there's just a few lone cleanup figures in orange vests walking along the beach. You wonder, what can they do? The task before these cleanup crews is enormous. Black waves. Well, it was amazing to see the Rena in person, but this is the most shocking thing I've seen.
Eagle 720, into back track, line up, runway 25, cross grass.
Okay, check line up, runway 25,
There's people starting to arrive at the beach. I guess they're being turned away by the cleanup crews. It doesn't look like it would be safe to be out on this beach this morning, especially at high tide. When it gets to low tide, this devastation will be even more evident. I'm guessing that oil will be right down the beach. You'll see black sand all the way down. It was just shocking. It was just shocking. We just saw huge amounts. I cannot say how many litres or tons it would be, but huge amounts of oil washing up on Papamoa Beach. The waves were black with it in certain places, and you could just see huge patches of it washing ashore all at once. And the beach was just lined with black, and the sea seemed like it was just bringing more oil. And I guess that's the most shocking thing I've seen on this helicopter journey. The Rena was shocking to see, but just seeing the impact of its grounding on Papamoa Beach, a really beautiful beach and a beautiful community, that was the most shocking thing. There were cleanup crews there, but it didn't look like too many people, and the enormity of the task before them just seems daunting. I don't know how long or how hard this is going to be, but it's not going to be easy.